All right, big news there. Let's bring in law professor and Fox News contributor Jonathan Turley to tell us what he makes of all of it. Welcome to you, Jonathan. Please do share your reaction.
Thank you very much. Well, it was a fascinating argument, but I have to say, if I was a betting man, I would say that Humphrey's estate is not going to make it to 91. I mean, this is indeed a 90-year-old doctrine that helps shape much of the government in terms of independent commissions. But it has long been challenged by people who said, where does that authority come from? The president, as the head of the executive branch, has Article II powers to conduct the business of the executive branch. And this created a sort of weird creature that was half congressional, half executive. And since that case was handed down, there have been many who've said, that's a mythical creature. That does not exist in the Constitution. Many of the justices, and clearly a majority, were skeptical and even frustrated at points. They kept on asking counsel, don't keep on telling us that this has been around for 90 years. Tell us why this is part of the Constitution. What is your theory? And what are the limits? They really didn't hear back on that one.
Here is the oral arguments from Justice Kagan today, Jonathan. Listen.
Here's been the bargain over the last century, and I think it has been a bargain. Congress has given these agencies a lot of work to do that is not traditionally executive work. And they've given all of that power to these agencies largely with it in mind that the agencies are not under the control of a single person, of the president.
So how do you respond to her questioning the power of these agencies?
Well, Justice Kagan kept on returning to what she called real-world considerations. And that, frankly, is the last argument you make when you don't have a very strong constitutional argument, in my view. I thought that the argument really collapsed in front of these justices. At points, Justice Jackson seemed to step down and complete the arguments for the counsel. I mean, she was mainly arguing the case, not asking questions. When you do a head count, it does not look good for Humphrey's estate. Now, if the president wins this one, he would be the most transformative president on executive power since FDR, maybe even since Washington. I mean, he has really stretched the scope of executive powers. He's challenging a lot of these limits across the board, and he's winning a number of critical cases. This would be a very significant win in terms of executive power.
Wow. This is more from inside the court. Justice Kavanaugh, in what appears to be support of the president's actions. Listen.
Independent agencies are not accountable to the people. They're not elected, as Congress and the president are, and are exercising massive power over individual liberty and billion-dollar industries, whether it's the FCC or the FTC or whatever.
Thoughts on Kavanaugh's words, Jonathan?
Well, both Kavanaugh and Alito really made short work of those defending this law. They kept on presenting hypotheticals, what they called hard hypotheticals, of where does this take you? Both of them said, well, can you just go ahead and make any cabinet department an independent commission? Can you specify just one commissioner? Can you make their length in office 20 years? All of those questions left the other side floundering. The best that they could say at points was, well, if something like that happens, you could come back and look at it. Well, the justices are looking at it now. And one of the things that should be unnerving is that those justices that normally form an alliance in these cases with the left of the court were not there today. Chief Justice Roberts really stomped on Humphrey's estate and said that it was basically a desiccated or dried up precedent. Justice Barrett said these commissions don't look anything like what existed at the time of some of these earlier cases. So that's not a good omen if you want Humphrey's estate to live to 91.
All right, Jonathan Turley on all of this breaking news for us. We'll see where it ends up. Jonathan, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sandra.
All right, John?
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.